Hi, this is Nikki of Nikki'sConfettiLife.com and welcome to my YouTube channel, The Garden of Mind. Today I want to talk about me. Some questions I had this morning and the answers that I received. Well, this morning I was doing my usual prayer, which is not usual. I usually veer off into something else. And this morning I veered off into something else. And I started asking God, our creator, this question. Well, several questions, not this question, but several questions like, why do we have to fight evil like every day or on a regular basis? Why can't good just reign for a season, months, years, a decade? You know, why does it have to be such a big battle and fight every day? Or other questions I asked was, why does it, and then it got personal. It was like, why does it seem like everybody else's progress around me is happening, or their manifestations is happening quicker than mine? And you know, I had out just a barrage of questions. Why does love take so long for those of us that really have a heart for love? And you know, that was created for love. We all were created for love, but I'm talking about relationships. Why does it take so long for some of us? And it seems like it happens so fast for others. Or why do others have like 10 marriages? And you know, those of us that are sincere about love and relationships can't even get, you know, to the hour. We can't even get, you know, a relationship to manifest one that's good for us anyway. And so, you know, that got me, you know, in this big ball of all of these questions. And then I realized I was veering off. And I said, okay, let me get back to my original prayer. And then I said something like, God, you probably won't even answer me, or maybe you'll answer me like years later or months later. I don't know, maybe you'll answer me this morning. So I got back to my original prayer, which is, you know, what I was supposed to have been doing this morning. And I got myself together, and then I came in and I fixed my coffee and I got ready to read this book that I'm reading. And the book that I'm reading and will be giving you the answers that I got from is called The Sacred Yes by Deborah L. Johnson, Reverend Deborah L. Johnson. And it's a deep book. It's not for, I don't want to say you're a basic Christian, but it's not for the basic or the traditional Christian. It's more for, you know what? Read it. You know, so it kind of opens up your mind. I'm a free thinker. So anyway, so I open up to the chapter that I'm on. And then this is what I got, and I'm reading from this book. I'm actually posted it on my blog, Nikki'sConfettiLife.com, and you can read it for yourself. But it says, in lieu of what I was asking this morning, not knowing what I was going to be reading, when you see the world through the eyes of a Christ, you no longer feel yourself to be the victim of anything. I was being a victim? You know, that's the first thing I thought. And I was like, what? There is nothing to fight. That did it right there. There is nothing to fight. Okay? Why we have to fight for love? Why we got to fight for good? You know, there is nothing to prove and no one to prove it to. Answers my question about why does it seem like everybody else, this and that, is going faster than mine, and I've been in the game a long time, and why isn't this happening? You know, the way I want it to happen, when I want it to happen, what's taking so long? Those kind of questions I asked. So when I read, there's nothing to prove and no one to prove it to. When everyone is whizzing by you, it does not disturb your inner peace. When you see the world through the eyes of a Christ. When you hold on to things that have happened, they take up space in your lives. When you keep repeating the sagas and the dramas, they take up precious spiritual, emotional, and physical space in your life. When you wear your scars like merit badges or name tags, then you are with it to them. You are wedded to them. You become available to them because you are available to whatever has your attention. You become available to those things, the sagas, the dramas, wearing your scars like a badge. You are wedded to them, and you become available to them because you are available to whatever has your attention. And then the question was asked, what has your attention, my children? The Sacred Yes by Reverend Deborah L. Johnson. And when I read because as if it's speaking to me, because I'm the reader, I'm the receiver on the receiving end. So it was more, what has your attention, my daughter? What has your attention? What you're lacking, or what you perceive that you're lacking? Time. How much time is it taking? Are you weary in well doing? Yes, I am. And most people will say, well, the Bible says don't be weary in well doing. We all get weary in well doing. And I believe that means don't continue in the thought process of where that feeling of weariness is coming from. Don't become so weary, that you just give up. And why are we weary anyway? Is because we don't take the time to rest and recuperate from our fight of life, which life, once again, we see it when we're looking at it through the Christ eyes, or when we have this Christ mind that we have allowed to be in us. And we have to remind ourselves, that this is life. This is everything is not a fight, or it does not have to be a fight at all. We have to change our perspective. And I believe for me, what was happening this morning was, Nicole, I hear you. And I'm glad you got all of that out of you. Now let me explain this to you, because I believe that we should validate our feelings. Our feelings and our thoughts are valid. It's not, why were you thinking like that? I also saw, once I look back, that I was comparing myself. And we all know that comparison, well, we all don't know, but comparison is the thief of joy. I took my eyes off of my own progress and how far I've came, and started looking around me like, hey, these people are whizzing by me and I'm doing the same thing, but I'm, not technically doing the exact same thing. But, it seems like everybody's going faster than me. And it became more about taking my eyes off of what's in front of me and what's around me. And then I started looking outside of myself. And I realized there's no race other than the race that I'm running. We're all in a race, but it's only against ourselves, and it's not against time. And the race is not a race as we think of it, as if we're running, and the race, I believe, more is a journey. We're all on a journey, and it has a different pace for everybody. And if my pace is slower, or I perceive it to be slower than it is, but I am right where I need to be. So also, when it talks about you don't have anything to prove to anyone. I don't have to prove to anyone. And in this world, in this society we live in, there is pressure. You should be here already. And people usually say that after they've gotten there. They don't say that when they're not there. When they get there, it's like, why haven't you arrived yet? Why haven't you done this yet? Why haven't you done that yet? As if all of our circumstances and situations are the same. From where you start your journey is anywhere you are. So if you're on 10th Street and I'm on 5th Street, we can start our journey from where we are. But don't get to 14th Street and look back at me and say, why aren't you on 14th Street? When you took your time, or what all needed to happen for you to get to where you are. So I learned that, or I was reminded that, Nicole, and I was enlightened as well, that it's not a fight. If you view it through the consciousness, the Christ consciousness, the mind of of a Christ. And I say a Christ because you have to understand that you have to read some things to understand Christ consciousness, and that Christ was not Jesus' last name. Okay, so anyway, when you do that, or you're viewing it, I'm viewing it through the natural. I'm viewing it through my own human experience, and I forgot my divinity. I forgot my spirituality. And it's okay to be tired. It's okay to question things. It's okay to feel the way you feel. Because how can you know and get the information you need and the revelation you need without first saying, I feel this way? Instead of, I feel some type of way. What is that type of way that you feel? Well, this morning I felt overwhelmed with all of the crime and all of the evil going on in the world. And you feel like you're fighting it by yourself, but you're not fighting it by yourself. And even if you're not fighting it by yourself, it can be overwhelming. You can get tired. And then those questions bled over into my own personal things that I was feeling. Once I recognized all of these things, and I was reading the passage, and I was like, okay, I got an understanding. I'm out of alignment. That's all. And it's easy. All you have to do is, I'm out of alignment. I need to get back into alignment with God. And as I was getting dressed and getting ready for this, to do this blog, I'm going to do my yoga afterwards. But as I was getting ready for this blog, Spirit was continually speaking to me and said, Nicole, those thoughts that you were having, were they thoughts of love? And I was like, no. And then, were they thoughts of positivity? And I was like, no. And then Spirit said, I'm not saying that to you to reprimand you or to beat you up or to make you feel like you're supposed to be perfect in your thinking, because you're not, or perfect in your feelings, because you're not. And Spirit was saying, I'm saying that to you so that you can remember and to remind yourself, hey, that's not a thought of love. That's not a thought of alignment with God, with oneness, with the oneness of me and God, with the Christ consciousness. It's a reminder for me to line back up. A reminder for you and me to line back up. So I hope that I've said something to you to help you this morning, this weekend, on your life's journey here in the Garden of Mind. You can read my blog on nikkisconfettilife.com. I'm on WordPress, nikkisconfettilife.com. I hope you have a blessed, an amazing, a wonderful, a weekend of laughter, rest, peace, whatever it is you need to do, cleaning, if that's what brings you peace or joy, or it's just something you just have to do this weekend. But I hope you do it with love, and I hope you do it with joy and with gratefulness. And also, yes, gratefulness, coming back into gratefulness, being grateful for my journey, being grateful for the highs and the lows, or what I perceive to be lows, which are just learning points and moments and lessons and blessings and diamonds and experience. Without those things, I wouldn't have any of that. It gives me the wisdom that I desire, not just for myself, but to help others. So I hope you enjoy your weekend. I hope I've said something that can help you along your journey.